This is the Senville LETO series mini split air conditioner heat pump. What surprised me most is how it keeps my open living space comfortable while staying quieter than my ceiling fan. I often forget it is running until I step outside and notice the temperature swing. I put this in the category of ductless mini split systems. It is meant for people who want efficient cooling and heating without installing ducts, or for anyone trying to handle a big open living area with one indoor unit. If you live in a one-level home with an open layout, or you need to condition a finished garage, a studio, or a couple of adjacent rooms without cutting into walls for ductwork, this is exactly the kind of system I reach for. I wanted to cover my living room, kitchen, and the hallway that leads to 2 bedrooms, and I did not want multiple indoor units all over the place. I went with the 24,000 British thermal units version so I could do it with a single head. On the wall, the indoor unit looks clean and simple. It is slim, white, and has slightly rounded edges. It hugs the wall and does not feel bulky, so it fades into the room and does not compete with furniture. The front display is subtle, and I can turn the light off at night so it does not glow while I am trying to sleep on the couch. The louvers adjust to send air left and right or up and down. And that actually matters because it helps push air down my hallway without blasting anyone sitting on the sofa. Outside, the condenser is compact and feels solid without being oversized. I live in an area that sees rain and some snow, and the outdoor unit has handled weather without any fuss. The remote is straightforward. The buttons are large enough to use without looking, and the readout is clear. In the box, there is a copper line set that is about 16 feet long, and that made the install cleaner because I did not have to source a separate kit right away. As for setup, the company calls it do-it-yourself friendly. The lines come pre-charged for a certain length, and the connections are designed to make life easier. I am comfortable doing small projects, but I chose to hire a technician. My electrical panel needed a dedicated breaker, and I had a quirky wall situation where windows took up most of the exterior wall space. The line set had to route farther than ideal and around one corner to reach the outdoor unit. I wanted it done right and I wanted to protect the warranty, so bringing in a pro was worth it. If your wall is clear and you understand electrical safety, you might feel confident doing it yourself, but I would still say think seriously about hiring out the electrical and the vacuum step. After the install, connecting it to my wireless internet and pairing the smartphone application took me only a few minutes. The application is basic, but it lets me set temperature, change modes, and schedule timers. I also linked it to Amazon Alexa, and that has been surprisingly useful. Saying, "Alexa, set the living room to 75 degrees," actually works, and I have used that while walking in with groceries. On day-to-day use, I care about speed, consistency, and noise. Cooling performance has been quick. From the moment I turn it on, I feel cool air within a few seconds, and the room starts to drop to target temperature faster than my old window unit ever managed. With the turbo mode, the indoor fan pushes a strong stream of air that reaches the far end of my living area. I have run it for 3 days straight during a warm spell, and the temperature stayed steady without big swings. When I switch to heat, the ramp-up is smooth. It does not blast scorching air. It eases into a comfortable warmth and then holds there. There is a rated low temperature for heating, down around 5 degrees Fahrenheit. I am not in an area with brutal winters, and it has kept my home warm on cold nights without issues. When the temperature drops near that lower limit, I notice it takes longer to reach the set point, and I plan for that with a small backup space heater if a serious cold front rolls in. That is not a fault. That is just how heat pumps work in very cold weather. Noise is a highlight. On its lowest fan setting, it is whisper quiet. The published number is around 34 decibels, and based on real use, that sounds about right. I can have a conversation right next to it, and it never steals attention. Even in turbo mode, it is more of a gentle whoosh than a roar. There is no clanging when the compressor engages, just a steady, soft hum. The outdoor unit is polite as well. I have sat a few feet away on the patio and barely noticed it. Energy use matters to me, and it is part of why I went with this over a window air conditioner and a space heater combination. The seasonal energy efficiency, ratio 2 rating tops out around 18 for this series, which is a practical way of saying it uses less electricity to do the same job. After the first month, my electric bill dropped compared to what I saw when I was bouncing between a window air conditioner and a plug-in heater. Obviously, everyone's home is different, but the efficiency advantage is real when it is running most of the day. Real-world scenarios are where this unit earned my trust. During a heat wave, the house climbed to 82 degrees while I was out. I came home, hit turbo, and watched it bring the room down to around 74 degrees in under an hour while pulling the sticky humidity out of the air. The air felt lighter, and the cooking smells cleared faster because I could point the louvers to help move air toward the kitchen. In winter, I tested an early morning warm-up when the thermostat read 64 degrees. With the heat mode, I was at a comfortable 72 degrees before I finished my first cup of coffee. When the outdoor temperature dipped to around 20 degrees Fahrenheit, it still kept up and only occasionally paused for a defrost cycle that was quick and unobtrusive. A typical use case for me is movie night with a couple of friends. I set the fan to auto so it adjusts quietly, angle the vanes to avoid blowing directly on the couch, and then forget about it. The unit does not compete with dialogue. I do not turn the television volume up or down because the fan noise stays low and even. Another common scenario is coming home from work on a hot day. About 20 minutes before I arrive, I open the application and set the temperature. I walk into a house that already feels comfortable instead of waiting for a window unit to catch up. The system is billed as 4-in-1, and I actually use all 4. Cooling in summer is obvious. Heating in the cooler months is steady and quiet. The dehumidify mode has been helpful on muggy, rainy weekends when the temperature is not that high but the air feels swampy. The regular fan mode is nice for moving air in spring and fall without compressing or heating. I also appreciate the quiet, simple maintenance. The indoor filters pop out easily, and I rinse them in the sink every couple of weeks. The condensate drains outside through a small tube, so there is no bucket to empty. I check the outdoor unit after storms to clear leaves, and that is about it. Smart features are genuinely useful here. Voice control with Amazon Alexa is more than a novelty when your hands are full or you are half asleep under a blanket. Scheduling in the application helps me avoid running it at full blast all day. I have weekday and weekend routines set so the house cools down before dinner and then eases off at night. If I lose the remote under a cushion, I still have full control from my phone. There are a few things to keep in mind. Installation can be more involved than the phrase do-it-yourself suggests. If you are not comfortable with electrical work or do not own a vacuum pump, hire a pro. I did, and I am glad I did, especially because my wall routing was not straightforward and I wanted to protect the warranty. The application has been reliable, but I had one moment where it needed a quick reconnect to the wireless network after a power outage. It took a minute and then it was fine. The remote is basic, which I actually like, but the button labels could be larger for anyone with weaker eyesight. For very cold climates with long stretches near or below that 5-degree mark, I would plan a secondary heat source or choose a system rated for deeper cold. And if you only need to cool a tiny room for a couple of weeks a year, this may be more system than you need. My overall take is that the Senville LETO series mini split air conditioner heat pump is a strong fit for open concept homes, one-level spaces, finished garages and studios where you want quiet operation, smart control, and solid efficiency without tearing walls open for ducts. I went with the 24,000 British thermal unit single head, and it handles my living area, kitchen, and adjacent rooms better than I expected. It blends in visually, it runs quietly, and it has lowered my energy use in real life, not just on a spec sheet. If you are on the fence about switching to a mini split, this is a reassuring place to start. It is friendly enough for first-timers, but it has the features I care about for daily comfort and control. Check the comments of this video for a link to see the current pricing of the Senville LETO series mini split air conditioner heat pump.